I want you to do something that's gonna make you feel sick. Open your settings and go to screen time and look at your daily average. I'm not talking about the days where you were productive, I'm talking about the average. If that number is 6 or 8 hours, I want you to realize what that actually means. You're not just using a device, you're handing over 1/3 of your entire life to a piece of glass and plastic. Think about that. If you live to be 80 and keep up that 6-hour average, you'll have spent 20 years of your life staring at a screen. That's your entire childhood, teen years, and young adulthood combined, deleted, gone for 15-second clips and people you don't even like. We used to joke when our parents blamed everything on that darn phone. We laughed it off when they said our headaches or bad grades were because of the screen, but I'm starting to realize that they weren't joking. They were warning us and we didn't listen. I recently had a day where my phone broke. It just died for 24 hours and I had no choice. I was offline. And for the first time in years, I actually saw the real world. I went to school and it felt like I was walking through a graveyard of zombies. Everyone's head was down, necks bent, eyes gazed over. I saw a group of friends sitting at a table in the cafeteria and not one of them was talking. They were all in the same room, but they were miles apart, lost in their own separate digital loops. Without my phone, I felt weirdly powerful. I finished my work in half the time because I wasn't checking for a notification every 2 minutes. I talked to people I hadn't spoken to in months. I walked outside and actually noticed the weather, the people, the sound. When I finally got back to my PC at the end of the day, I realized something terrifying. I had lived more in that one day than I had the entire month before it. My phone wasn't helping me live my life. It was a parasite that was eating it. We like to think that our phone is a tool. We say, I can make money on it, I can learn on it, and yeah, you can, but are you? The smartest engineers in the world, people with PhDs from Harvard, are paid millions of dollars to do one thing: keep you from looking away. Every time you scroll, a tiny hit of dopamine hits your brain. It's the same chemical reaction as a slot machine in a casino. You're being trained like a lab rat to keep flicking your thumb. You think you're in control, huh? Try to put your phone in another room for 5 hours while you work. Most of you can't do it. You feel a literal itch in your brain. That's not a tool, it's an addiction. You're currently being outsmarted by an algorithm that knows you better than you know yourself. It knows exactly what video will make you stay for just one more. While you're being entertained, the people who built the app are getting rich off of your attention. You're the product being sold, and the price is your future. Have you noticed that everyone our age is starting to sound the same? We have the same opinions, we use the same slang, we wear the same clothes, and we have the same goals. That's because we've outsourced our thinking to our phones. Before phones, if you were bored, you had to think, you had to imagine things, you have to come up with your own ideas. Now, the second there's a 5-second gap of silence, we fill it with someone else's thoughts. You're not forming your own personality. You're just a collection of the top 5 TikToks you saw that day. We are losing the ability to have an original thought. We're losing the ability to be creative. If you can't sit in a room for 10 minutes in silence without reaching for a distraction, how are you ever going to build something original? How are you ever going to solve a real problem? You can't, because your brain is too busy processing a million pieces of random junk that won't matter. Let's get real about school. You've got a bad grade, it's that phone. Your mom was 100% right. It's not that the classes are too hard, it's that your attention span is fried. We've trained ourselves to expect a reward every 10 seconds, so when you sit down to read a history book or solve a math equation and it doesn't give you a dopamine hit in the first 30 seconds, you quit. You feel bored. But boredom is where the winning happens. The ability to focus on one boring thing for 2 hours is a superpower nowadays. If you can still read a book, if you can still study without checking your phone, you're going to lap everyone your age. The gap between the winners and the losers right now is simply a gap of attention. The losers are the ones whose brain has been rewired to only function in 15-second bursts. The winners are the ones who can still control their own minds. Our phones have become a shield for our social anxiety. Think about the last time you felt awkward in public. Maybe you were waiting for a friend, or you walked into a room where you didn't know anyone. What did you do? You pulled out your phone, didn't you? You didn't have a notification. You just started scrolling through your apps to look busy. By using the phone as a shield, you're killing your social skills. You'll never learn how to handle a weird silence. You're never learning how to start a conversation with a stranger. This is why our generation is the loneliest in history. We have 2,000 followers, but nobody we can actually talk to. We've traded real, messy human connection for a clean, filtered digital version that doesn't actually satisfy the soul. I'm not telling you to delete every app and throw your phone away and, I don't know, live in the woods or something. I'm telling you to stop being a spectator in your own life. Your phone is an incredible tool for making money and learning, but if 90% of your screen time is entertainment, you're losing. You're being outcompeted by the people who are using their phones to produce, while you're using it to consume. The next time your mom says it's that darn phone, don't roll your eyes, take a second and look at your screen time. Look at the 15 years of your life that is currently on the line. Try to go one day, just one. Leave it in your drawer, experience the cringe experiences of boredom and watch how much more alive you feel. You only get one life. Don't spend half of it looking at someone else's. Put the phone down and go actually live. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine you're at the end of your life. You're 80, 90 years old, sitting in a chair looking back at everything, and suddenly a screen appears in front of you. It's your final weekly reports. It doesn't show your bank account, it doesn't show your career highlights, it just shows one number, your lifetime screen time. And as you look at that number, you realize that 20, 25, maybe 30 years, you weren't actually there. You were a ghost. You were physically in the room with your family, but your mind was in a server farm in California. You were at the beach, but you were looking at a 6-inch display of the ocean instead of the ocean itself. You were connected to everyone, but you died without anyone truly knowing who you were, because you never even took the time to find out yourself. That's one of the most terrifying ways to die, realizing you never actually lived because you were too busy watching a digital simulation of life. We think we're killing time on our phones, but time isn't something you can kill. It's the only thing that you actually have. When you give an app 4 hours of your day, you aren't giving it time, you're giving it your life force. You're giving it the energy you could have used to become a beast, to build a business, to find a partner who actually loves you. Every scroll is a trade, and you're trading a piece of your potential for a 10-second laugh. You're trading your focus for a headline that won't matter tomorrow. Mom was right. It was the phone. It was the phone that stole the version of you that was supposed to be great. It was the phone that turned your fire into fog. It was the phone that convinced you that being entertained was the same thing as being happy. So here's the final test. Most of you will finish this video and immediately scroll down to the comments and see what other people think. Or you'll flick to the next suggested video to keep the dopamine loop going. You'll forget everything I just said in the next 30 seconds because the algorithm is already hungry for your next click. Prove me wrong. Prove to yourself that you still own your brain. Tonight, when you go to sleep, don't put your phone next to you. Put it in another room. And when you wake up tomorrow, don't touch it for the first hour. Go outside, look at the sky, feel the boredom, feel the cringe of not having a distraction. Let your brain finally start to speak to you again. The world is waiting for you to come back. Your friends are waiting for the real you to show up. Your future self is begging you to put the damn phone down so you can actually start building the life you keep dreaming about. The battery on your phone can be recharged. The battery on your life cannot. Stop being a ghost and start being a man. Put it down and don't look back.